I'm going to go ahead, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring these guys up. We've got Brendan Walsh and JD, which is John from IRAs. So I'm hoping you guys can give us just a little, what we're in search of here at this point in time is some tools that can help Hexicans and possibly some where it touches a legacy finance. And so we're pretty excited to hear a little bit more about this. I purposely didn't do a lot of research on this because I wanted you guys to pitch me and sell me and the Hexicans on what it is that you have in the way of a value proposition. So if you wouldn't mind, Brendan, would you mind introducing yourself first?
Sure. I'm Brendan Walsh. I've been at Rocketdollar for 3 years now. So what Rocketdollar is, real briefly, that we're going to get into today, is helps people put alternative assets like crypto into a retirement account. So I used to be a financial advisor doing traditional financial advice. It's kind of a dying industry. It was helping people on their 401k as well. What really excited me about coming to Rocketdollar is that 401ks and IRAs have been in very boring investments. However, just through government rules, they get some of the most and best tax advantages. So something facing the crypto community right now that I've been helping with kind of as the crypto DeFi specialist is that a lot of people are getting killed in crypto taxes. How can you put some of this stuff into a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA? And John will introduce himself in a little bit here, but part of why we brought IRAs in is just they're one of the fastest exchanges to get some of these IRA crypto accounts open.
Okay.
And, you know, something I was talking about earlier, it's probably because of Toby Wan, but we've had a lot of customers, you know, asking about Hex over the Rocketdollar phone line over the last 3 to 6 months. So I think just as part of the community, getting the word out there. And, you know, often our crypto community is driving Rocketdollar. Hey, what partnerships do we need? Where should we be? Where should we be educating? You know, our crypto customers will call us, hey, have you heard of Hex? I'd really love to talk about more to you and all the people trying to invest in it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like, I was really glad Kinetics was able to bring you guys on, something I've been trying to get together for a while. I know I tried to connect John with, and John, nice to see you in the flesh there.
Likewise.
And John was instrumental in helping me get things set up right before the sacrifice ended. So we were kind of hustling.
It was tight, but we got in there.
It was tight, but we got it in. So it was. I had a great experience. John Wick actually was the one that first introduced me to Rocketdollar. Brendan and then Chris Palmisano were very helpful in getting that set up. And those were the things that I really enjoyed about it, because as opposed to dealing with like an institutional account with Coinbase, which I'm still waiting for, which I tried to initiate around the same time I started with IRAs, which I believe was back in June, or no, July. It's just so easy, and you actually have a real life person that you can talk to, and the customer service is fantastic. And they really do a great job of explaining things. The fees are reasonable. And I was able to actually convert my simple IRA over to a Roth and then transfer that to Rocketdollar. And then via IRAs, I was able to get that all in Hex. So now I've got a self-directed Roth IRA that's staked out for 10 years for when I'm able to touch that when I'm 60. And
only 10 years? I thought you were a real Hexican, Toby Wan. Where's the 5555 at, man?
Well, I've got plenty of other 5555s, but I just thought, you know, for this, it would be fun to do.
You just wanted to pay taxes on those ones?
When the IRA's ready to roll, then I would be too. And I was actually able to sacrifice a fair amount as well, so I'll have Pulse dropped into that same account, which is super exciting. But yeah, I'm eager to sit and learn some more about all of the above with you guys. And John, I hope at some point you can meet up with Richard. I think I might have heard Kinetics touch on it a bit about potentially you guys listing Pulse and or Hex on your exchange at some point. I know that when we had spoken a while back that you had expressed an interest in Pulse in particular. Yes. So I'd love to see how that progresses. Perfect.
I agree. I look forward to having a conversation outside of this and also touching base with Richard.
Yeah. We'll when this conversation's over, we'll touch in the back channels again to make connection to not only Richard. I know he's extremely busy right now. We have a documentary team that's flying out to meet with him in an undisclosed portion of the globe. He is neck deep in development right now, so there's a lot of it's really difficult to get a hold of that guy, and even if you can just connect with him for a quick moment, he doesn't have a lot of time for everybody. But I can put you in contact with other members of the community that I'm in direct contact with that have some, not just infinite knowledge of the product that is Hex, but also they can fill you in on any of the information that you guys need to clarify whether it fits with ErisX. So, and then you let us know what we need to do to convince your board that that's the right way to go, and we'll definitely do that. So without further ado, Brendan, I know I kind of held you up here, so go ahead, sir. Sure.
Yeah, and I just want to jump in. How does someone actually acquire Hex through both a Rocketdollar account and ErisX? So a little bit about me. We'll just skip over that for time. But what does Rocketdollar actually offer? We offer a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, and a solo 401k, all of which can invest in crypto and other assets. The solo 401k tends to be just for people who are self-employed. I'm not going to go into it today, but feel free to call. You can save quite a bit of retirement money into that, and you can put that into stocks or crypto or real estate, or like that. So the term self-directed, a lot of people think like, oh, I can just pick my own stocks for that. But what's popular in my side of the industry is a self-directed IRA is typically one you could put in a non-Wall Street type asset, whether that be real estate, cryptocurrency, private startup stock like Peter Thiel, Facebook, and PayPal before it IPOs, or even someone down the street like a business owner that you see maybe starting up a new business. Maybe it's a brick and mortar, maybe it's a startup. You can actually go from your retirement account, hand that person a check to maybe a blockchain startup that you believe in, and directly invest in that company. And all of this is to basically shield you from taxes, get that same benefits that a traditional IRA, which is taxed at retirement at ordinary income rates, or a Roth IRA, which as long as you keep assets in there for 5 years, is totally tax-free. Solo 401k can do both of those types of, it can do traditional or Roth type contributions. Okay, so a big diagram here, is a lot of steps going on, but what Rocketdollar does is we create the stuff in purple on the left here. We create an IRA just like everyone is always used to at TD Ameritrade or Fidelity. What's different about that IRA, let's see, can I blow this up? Is it good enough to see, or is it a little too small?
It's great for those on desktop. On mobile, it's going to be a little bit difficult to see. I don't know if it's possible. Let me see here. I can actually just take us off the screen. It blows it up just a little bit more.
Okay, thank you. What Rocketdollar does is we make the stuff in purple here. We make an IRA just like you're always used to. Then we make a Colorado LLC and a bank account. And why this is so interesting to a lot of people, it has many names. We call it like you can bring your own deal or bring your own crypto platform. You can checkbook IRA, bank control IRA. What's different about this is you do not have to ask the custodian for permission every single time you move money. You basically have full control of this fiat bank account to send that money anywhere you want to go. So where a lot of Hexicans have been sending that money is ErisX with a crypto LLC trading account. And what this LLC does, you have the manager of the LLC, can really put your crypto on any platform. You can move it to different platforms. You can even move it off the exchange. There's a decent amount of rules about what you can and can't do. You really cannot mix this crypto ever with personal crypto. Has to stay retirement only crypto. So even if you've worked with ErisX, you've worked with Exchange before, you make a totally fresh account with your LLC. And why so many people are excited about this, very few other platforms have any flexibility to take crypto off the exchange. Very few have access to so many of the crypto world out there. The worldview of crypto is so small with the standard crypto IRA. Gives you a couple options, you're done. You can trade in and out at spot, and that's it. Usually even staking is impossible. So for $360 and $15 a month, and then with that Hex discount code there, you get this entire structure for $15 a month. That is extremely price competitive. It's about a third of a lot of our competition out there. A lot of people would go to lawyers and create this structure themselves. It's painful. It's tough. You got to pay a lawyer. You got to create your own LLC. Rocketdollar does that all for you, so you don't have to worry about that. what this does, this bank account, you could send that, you could write a check to a blockchain startup. You could go send this to a real estate transaction. But what most people are interested in is they want to talk to ErisX and they want to get an exchange account open. So first step, open a Rocketdollar account. Second step, fund that Rocketdollar account with fiat dollars, maybe from an old IRA. Most people have an old IRA sitting around, maybe at Fidelity or ADP, Mass Mutual, you name it. You've got an old 401k and an old job that you might have forgotten about, probably sitting in S&P 500, and maybe even some bond funds. So we help you bring that over into the structure, get that into that fiat bank account ready to go anywhere. Then our crypto customers will open an ErisX exchange account. They're interested in trading crypto. Why ErisX has been a huge winner is their service and opening an account in 5 days. I've just talked about a lot of complex stuff. If you go to the Coinbase institutional desk, like Toby Wan was saying, it's been months. People aren't getting good answers. They're getting frustrated. They don't get their account approved. They're like, where's your corporate board of registrars? Just stuff that slows people down, gets people gummed up. I've talked to a few people even the last week. I just said, look, please stop trying. You're beating your head against the wall. Just open at ErisX. You can be trading in a few days from now. And with an LLC, this allows so much more freedom, is that as long as you can prove that the asset is owned by your IRA, you can basically own any asset like Hex, even if Rocketdollar custodian hasn't heard about it before. So Hexicans were already going out and attempting to go acquire Hex before I was even aware of it. They have the structure, they have the IRA, and completely independent, they can go out and try and acquire cryptos, and they don't have to sit through and kind of look, what is the approved list of cryptos that Rocketdollar allows? If they can get it through their IRA, they can go own it through their IRA. So I just took this structure here. This is from the Hex website, the structure that everyone's really used to. And what I kind of want you to focus on is every Hexican already knows this structure already. And trying to make that easier by getting listed on exchange, I think that's great. Talk to John, keep talking to John about that. But what Rocketdollar is doing is you start off with a centralized exchange. You can purchase Bitcoin, or in this case, Ethereum, and we are empowering you to enter the crypto world after that. Once we get you into the crypto world, you obviously know what's going on. You understand the crypto world. We are handling your retirement account, a traditional or Roth IRA, so you do not have to pay taxes on that account on a yearly basis. Now, I want to stop for questions here. You'd purchase ETH, make a unique MetaMask account, then you'd be able to purchase Hex. Any kind of questions popping up in the structure right now? Because I know it's kind of a doozy.
So no issues with using a hardware wallet. I see cold or hot storage solution, so you could use a hardware wallet using MetaMask as the user interface for it. No problem there.
The one thing, and I have some slides in it, I don't need to go too complex on it, is that the IRS, they sometimes don't like people keeping assets at home. So they used to get really pissed at gold investors for keeping gold in home safes, which was happening very often through IRAs, and they kind of brought the hammer down on people, that really were being negligent about it or not being honest about it. So you just got to know, you can use a hardware wallet. There's nothing saying you can't use it. However, I would buy it with the IRA. I would not use any old device that you have around. And if you use it, you just got to know, it is new to the IRS as they're figuring out this space. So when your crypto's on ErisX, ErisX is basically helping prove, hey, this LLC owns this crypto. When your crypto is off at MetaMask, currently, there's nothing that says, hey, this is an LLC account at MetaMask. I've talked to MetaMask, and a lot of the community has made their voices really clear. Hey, we would love to, trade a little bit of privacy, but basically make a MetaMask LLC account and tie this directly and clearly to an LLC. So they're aware of that issue. They want to work on it. They're excited about people using crypto IRAs and using these different Ethereum protocols. So their team is aware. I would tell the Hex community, continue being vocal about that. Communicate with MetaMask about that, because this LLC account is what gets you into Hex now. As Toby-Wan was saying, he wanted to get into Hex very quickly. If he would have just waited until Hex was on a established IRA exchange, he might have been waiting years. This allows him to get at the assets as quickly as possible.